So I got asked because I know that recently they did an interview on the Big Shaq podcast how Shaq and AI would have worked together. Do I think it would have worked and who could have coached them? When you do the revisionist history, it's always tough because yes, they could have played well together. The problem is who could have made it work as a coach? Could it have worked in a Phil Jackson triangle style or would it have worked in Larry Brown's? Hmm. It's kind of hard to say because that's the problem that I run into if I was to link up great players. Who would the coach be and how would it be manifest? Now, Larry Brown allowed AI a certain amount of latitude. Phil Jackson definitely had everything run through Shaq in the triangle. Would have been interesting AI pulling up how he would have been spread in that offense with Shaq in the triangle. But it's interesting who would have been the coach. See, this is the part where I'm kind of stomped at. Yes, they could have been successful together, but who could have been the coach and what offensive scheme would they have used and how would it have been devised? It got me kind of wondering who could it have benefited and the stylings. And I'm really kind of thinking of okay, guard slashing, big man, banging. Who could have benefited? Where could it have really gone off? Who could have devised it perfectly? There are coaches that come to mind. I think that the Shaq of Orlando style and AI style precursor to what Mike D'Antoni did because the run and movement would have been something. Now we go the power and the lob and everything. That's what Doc Rivers tried to Lob City with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. So it's interesting who you put in, but I do think Shaq and AI would have been successful. It's just that whose style of a head coach would it have worked? Would it work with Pat Riley? Mm, I don't know. Because he asked a lot of his guards to play defense and go back and set, so I don't know. It's a very touchy subject, but it's a very compelling story. Because when we put up these dream situations of these two played together, who's the coach, who's the system, how does it rotate? That makes for an interesting argument. Feel free to tell me who you think could have coached these two greats and how this would have worked out and your overall thoughts. I have many people I could have put with Shaq, many. I still think that, in my personal opinion, Steph Curry and Shaq would have been compelling, just like Scottie Pippen and Shaq. Would have been some interesting stories. AI with a guy like Giannis would have been compelling, even though he's giving Luka a lot of love. AI with Jokic would be real interesting. When I think about Jamal Murray and how he skirters on the top of the key and moves, would have been interesting. Would have been very interesting. But who do you think? Perhaps AI with Tim Duncan. Please fill in the blank and the coach. And would Shaq and AI have thrived with Greg Popovich as a head coach? Let's play that game. All right, shall we? Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another, and keep on with recommendations. And let's play this fantasy because it makes up for some interesting stories that you can compile from the 90s onward. Because actually, it is some interesting fill in the blanks. I'm out.